Hello there everyone. Today we're going to look at statistical averages. Now, a statistical average or an average is a value that we use to typically represent a group of data. One example might be, for example, the average number of children in a family, or perhaps one that you might be more familiar with, the class average mark in a test. The three main types of statistical average that we're going to be looking at are the mean, the mode, and the median. So in a little bit more detail, the mean. This is found by adding up the sum of all the values and dividing by the number of values, and we'll take another look at that in a moment. The mode. The mode is quite straightforward. It's just the most common value. Sometimes you can have more than one mode. And again, we'll look at that in a little bit. And thirdly is the median. And the median is found by rearranging all of the values in order of size, and then we select the middle value. So here we have a list of values, and we're trying to find the mean of these values. So what do? Remember, it's the sum of the values divided by the number of values. Well, the sum of the values just means we add the values up. So if we add these values up, so they're all added together, and that comes to 42. And then we need to divide this by the number of values. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. So it's 42 divided by 7. So in this case, the mean average is 6. Here we have another set of values, 26, 32, 17, 10 and 15. And again, we're trying to find the mean average. So, like we did the last time, the sum of the values divided by the number of values. So, the sum of the values means we add them all up. So, 26 plus 32 plus 17 plus 10 plus 15, and that comes to 100. And then we divide that by the number of values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values in this case. 100 divided by 5. And that gives us a mean average this time of 20. Okay, so here we have one more example. And this is a typical question that you could get. The marks obtained by 13 students were as follows: 78, 67, 94, 87, 56, 88, 92, 90, 48, 74, 63, 87 and 77. Find the mean average score of the pupils. Okay, so we do exactly like we did the last time. We need to find the sum of the values. Now there's quite a few, we have 13 values and they're bigger numbers, so I would suggest you would use a calculator here. And if you use a calculator and you add all those numbers up, it actually comes to 1001. And then to get the average, remember we need to divide that by the total number of values. Well, we can either count them up, but it actually says here that there are 13 students. So we divide by 13. And 1001 divided by 13, that gives us a mean average of 77. Okay, so here we have one more example of how to find the mean. The heights of 5 pupils are given in centimetres: 146, 152, 161, 158 and 148. A. Calculate the mean height, and B. Calculate the new mean height if another pupil who is 144 centimetres tall joins the group. Let's start off with A. So just like we did before, we add up the values, and if we add up those 5 values, it actually comes to 765. And initially there was 5 values, so we divide by the 5. And that gives us a mean height of 153 centimetres. Now in part B, we need to calculate the new mean height when the new pupil of 144 centimetres joins the group. So we need to add this new height to our original total of values, or sum of values. Well, our original sum of values was 765, remember? And to that we need to add our 144. And when we add that together, that gives us a new sum of the values of 909 centimetres. But this time we need to divide not by 5, but by 6, as there are now 6 members in the group. And 909 centimetres divided by 6 gives us 151.5 centimetres. And this is our new mean height. Don't be put off by the fact that we have a decimal in our answer. That's absolutely fine. Now we'll take a little look at the mode. Now the mode's probably the easiest statistical value to find. It's simply the most common value, or the one that occurs most often. So if we just look at the first example here, we can see we've got 2, 5, 4, 6, 2, 5, 2. So we've got 1 4 and 1 6. We've got 2 5s, but we have 3 2s. So 2 is the most common value, and so 2 is our mode. In this next example, we have a 7, a 9, an 8, a 5, a 7, a 3, and a 4. Well, all of the digits occur only once, apart from the 7, and we've got 2 of those. So it's the one that occurs most often. So that means that our mode this time is 7. And in the last example, we have a 1, a 4, a 5, a 5, a 9, a 3, a 1, a 4, a 7, a 4, and a 1. So we have a few more digits this time. But I can see there that we have 1, 2, 3 ones. We have got 2 5s. We've only got 1 9, 1 3, 1 7. But look at, we've got 1, 2, 3 4s. So this time we actually have got 2 modes. So we need to write both of them down. So our mode this time is 1 and 4. We need to make sure we write down both. And here's just one more final example. This time we have a 2, 4, 1, 8, 5, 3, 0, 9, 7. Now, if you look at the digits, they all occur only once. No digit occurs more than any other. And so in this instant, there is no mode. And that's our answer this time. Okay, so this takes us on to the median, which is the third sort of statistical average that we're going to look at. And remember, it's the middle value when they are arranged in order of size, or written down in order of size. Now, it doesn't actually matter whether you do them from biggest to smallest or smallest to biggest, but I tend to do them from the smallest to the biggest because that's the way we're used to counting. So let's get these numbers in order. So the smallest number we have is 1. Next along there I can see a 2, and then a 3, a 4. Oh, there's another 4, so we need to put that down again. We have a 5. There is no 6, but we have got a 7, and we have an 8, and we have a 9. Okay, so we're looking for, remember, the middle value when they're put in order. We have them in order. There are 9 values, So we're actually looking for the fifth value, this value here. So you've got basically 4 values on this side, 4 on this side, and the 1 in the middle, which is the fifth. Another way you can calculate this, especially if it's a big number, here we're okay, we only had 9 values. But if it's a larger number, you take the number, in this case 9, you divide by 2, which gives you 4.5, and then you round up, and that there gives you the fifth value. But remember, you only do this here when you have an odd number of values. There's a different rule when you have an even number of values. But in any case, from the numbers that we're given, our median value is 4. Okay, so here we have another set of values. This time we've got 6, but like we did the last time, we put them in order. Now these numbers are slightly different. They could be heights of children or something like that. But we put them in order, and I tend to start with the smallest to the biggest. So the smallest number we have there is 139. Then we've got 148. After 148 we've got 151. Then 153, 162, and 164. So there's our 6 values. Now, remember, we're looking for the middle value. Well, we've got a bit of a problem here, because if we go to the middle, there's nothing. So we have, in fact, 2 values in the middle. So when you have an even number of values, you will always have 2 in the middle. And so what we need to do in this instance is we need to add them together and divide by 2. We basically get the mean average of these 2 middle values. So 151 plus 153, that gives us 304. And then, because there's 2 values, we need to divide that by 2. And that gives us a median average of 152 centimetres. Here's another question where we're asked to find the median. The amount of time in minutes 15 people waited for a bus are given below. Calculate the median number of minutes that they had to wait. And here we have the minutes listed below. Remember, the first thing we do is we need to put these into order. Be careful, it's easy to miss one out here. So we have a 3, and a 3, and a 4. We have another 4, a 6, a 7, an 8. We have another 8. So remember, if the numbers are repeated, you need to put them all down. We have a 9, a 10, an 11, a 12, a 12, a 14, and I'll just fit it in, a 15. And we're looking for the middle value. Now there was 15. So remember, like I did before, 15 is an odd number. So if it's an odd number, we go 15 divided by 2, and that gives us 7.5, and we round up. So we're looking for the 8th value. So counting across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So our 8th value is actually number 8, and that's our median. The last thing I want to talk about today is the range. Now, the range is simply the difference between the largest and the smallest value. It's not an average in itself. So here, the biggest value we have in these numbers below is 15. And from that we take the smallest value, which is 3, and that gives us a range of 12. Okay, so it's as simple as that there. And here's one final example where we're asked to find the range. Just be careful here because we've got some negative numbers. So the smallest number this time is -6, and the biggest number we have is 8. Now if you're in any doubt at all, you can use a number line. The smallest number, -6, is here, and the largest number, number 8, is here. And remember, the range says that this is simply the difference between the largest and the smallest value. So we're looking for the difference between -6 and 8. Well, from -6 to 0 is 6. And from 0 all the way up to 8 is, of course, 8. So we need to add these two values together. So the range for these group of numbers is actually 14. Okay.